Hi everybody, you've got a new projector in your room and I'm sure you're excited to use it but might not be sure what to do with all the cords and getting it turned on and ready to use in your classroom. This tutorial is briefly going to go over the steps to plug in and set up your projector, but please feel free to view the slideshow, which will be attached at a slower pace as you set up the cords yourself, but this should give you a good overview. All right, the first step is to open that large flat box that got left in your room. In it, you will find a remote. Please make sure that there are batteries in the remote. If they're not in the remote, they're in the big box, and you can install them by taking the cover off the back, similar to what you would do with a TV remote. To turn on your projector, you press the blue power button 1 time, and to turn it off, you press the blue power button 2 times. All right, there are also pens in the box. You can take them out, put them in the case, and you may place them anywhere near your board you would like, except for on the projected image. If you leave them on the projected image, the space where the projector illuminates your whiteboard, it will continue, the pens will continue to click in the same spot over and over again, making it very frustrating for you to try and use the board. So just make sure they're away from that projected image. All right, you're going to need some cords to get you started. You're going to need 1 to 2 VGA cables. Most of you will need 2. One of them will come from the large flat box that came with your projector, and one will come from your old projector, which will still be in your room. Okay, you also will need an Ethernet cable. In the picture, that's the blue one here. It's the same type of cable that your phone uses to connect to the wall as well as your computer to get hardwired internet access. Okay, and you will also need a Ethernet to USB dongle. I know it's a funny name, but essentially it's a converter that converts an Ethernet cable into a USB cable, which makes it much easier for it to connect to your computer. You will need 1 audio cable in order to project sound from your computer through the sound system. You will also be provided with 1 VGA splitter that will allow you to project both, will allow you to see the image that you are projecting both on the projector and on your monitor at the same time. Finally, there's an optional HDMI cable. These are found with each Chromebook cart, and they allow you to project directly from the Chromebooks to the interactive projectors. We are now going to start setting up the cables. You're going to take 1 VGA cable, shown in the picture over here. You're going to plug one end into the wall port where it says computer and one end into the front of your document camera where it says RGB out. This diagram over here gives you an idea of what cables you should have set up at this point in the process. You've got the projector, the wall port that is nearby, and you have a VGA cable coming out of the wall port and going into your document camera. This picture will change to reflect the different cables as we add them in each step. So if you ever need to check what you're doing or whether you've got the right cable set up, it's a great point of reference. All right, I know there's a lot of colors on this screen, but I promise I'll explain them all. If you look at the back of the computer tower, you will notice that there is a blue VGA port. There is probably already a blue VGA cable plugged into that port, and it's connected to the monitor, the screen that you view your computer that allows you to view what's happening on your computer. So go ahead and unplug that VGA cable. Keep it handy. We're going to plug it back in just a second, but to a new spot. So you've got this empty VGA port. You are going to plug in the blue end of your splitter into this port. Next, you're going to take the USB end of the splitter and you're going to plug it in right next door in one of the USB ports on the back of your computer tower so it doesn't take up room on the front. Finally, you're going to take that blue VGA cable that was connected to the monitor in your computer that we just unplugged, and we're going to plug it into the black box right here. If you need a better view, go ahead and look up here in the corner. Right here on the side is a great place to plug in that VGA cable that was coming out of your computer monitor. We are going to fill the other spot in just 1 second. All right. Now that you've got the VGA splitter hooked up to the back of your computer tower and your monitor VGA cable plugged into one side, we're going to take the second VGA cable I talked about. Remember, it's either coming out of your large flat box that came with your interactive projector, or you are getting it from your old projector that was in your room. Okay, you're going to take it and plug it into the only spot left on your VGA splitter, which is in the back of your computer tower, hanging on there. And you're going to plug the other end where it says RGB in on your document camera. So you'll have two VGA cables coming out of your document camera. You can see it in the picture here. We have that first VGA cable coming out of the wall port and going into the document camera. And we have a second VGA cable going from the document camera into the computer. This means we have a signal going from the computer into the document camera, and the document camera is passing that signal along to the wall port and the projector. All right, time to complete the last step, getting your Ethernet cable and to USB cable hooked up so that you have interactivity. The VGA cable gives us an image on the projector, and this allows the projector to know where you are touching. You're going to plug one end of the Ethernet cable that looks like this into the wall port right here, and you're going to plug the other end into that USB dongle that we talked about earlier, and the USB end is going to plug right into the front of your computer tower. Here's the diagram so you can check your setup if you are unsure. This is an optional setup for those of you wishing to project from a Chromebook. The HDMI port can be found on the wall, and then you go ahead and plug the other end into the HDMI port on the computer. No conversion necessary, just an easy and quick setup. You'll need to toggle using the source search button on your projector remote in order to switch between projecting from your computer and projecting from the Chromebook. There's no need to undo any cables to your computer in order to project from the Chromebook. Just use that source search button. It's right across from the power button and should be easy to find. All right, now that you've got all your cables up, you are going to want to know how to switch between using your document camera and your projector. You do this by using the two buttons found on your document camera, either the computer or the document camera, depending on which you'd like to view. Since we have a couple of different document cameras in the district, I've provided two pictures so that you are clear on which buttons to use. Since the document camera is in between our computer and the projector, see we have the computer, a VGA cable sending a signal to the document camera, and a signal going out of the document camera into the wall port. We need to make sure the document camera is turned on in order to project from our computer. Key step to remember. All right, this is an optional setup for those of you with the brand new Elmo TT12i document cameras. There are only 30 in the district, but we will need some of this setup. And so I encourage you, if you use this setup, to look at the PowerPoint that's attached so that you can really take in this screen and what that setup looks like for you. Feel free to get in touch with your building technology coach, the Tech TOSA, or the Information Services Department if you need any extra assistance. All right. Now you are ready to start using your projector, and you'll need to install the Easy Interactive Tools, which can be done at this link here. You can then click on Drivers and Downloads, and then the specific download that you're looking for is Easy Interactive Tools version and the latest number. There will only be one choice there. The numbers just rotate. Okay, it's a good idea to open this program every time you start your computer or you plan to project. That way you have it up and running, and you won't get to projecting and wanting to interact and wondering why it is not working. Additionally, you want to make sure that you are in PC interactive mode. You want to interact with your computer. So make sure in the lower right-hand corner that you see this icon, a little mouse and a computer. This lets you know that the interactive projector is talking to your computer. They're working together and you have interactivity. The other option is this pen and projector, and this means that the projector is operating free of your computer and you won't have any interactivity. This means you touch the board and nothing will happen. The last thing we're going to touch on is the Listen Point sound system. This is really easy to get up and running. You've got your control panel, which is installed right next to your wall port. You have a sound system microphone and a charging dock. Make sure you get that plugged in. And you have an audio cable. The Listen Point microphone has several features. Go ahead and take some time later to check out all of them. It comes with a neat card in the box that was delivered with it that I suggest keeping handy and goes over all this information. But pretty much this button up top is called the soft button, and it just mutes the microphone for a very brief period of time if you needed to say something privately to a student quickly or at the door with another teacher. You also have a volume up and volume down button. You can mute the microphone for a longer period of time by using the center button. And to turn off the microphone, you can hold this button down for 4 seconds. The microphone automatically turns on when it's removed from the charging station, so that's a good home for it. There are 2 ways to project sound from your computer through the audio system. The first way is to take the audio cable, plug one end into the wall port, shown here, and plug the other end directly into your computer as a pair of headphones would go. Okay, the other option is a great alternative if your audio cable is too short to reach to your computer. You can bring the microphone close to the computer and use the audio cable to connect the handheld microphone to the same port on the front of your computer. All that being said, and you should be ready to go. You should have an idea of where to start. I know it'll take some time to get used to, but I'm confident that with patience and by using our resources, we can get everyone set up and ready to go in no time at all. If you're still in need of some help, please ask a neighbor teacher. There's a lot of demand with the new projectors, and we want to provide the best service that we can. But please check with a neighbor teacher in case they spy something that maybe you overlooked in the installation process. A fresh set of eyes is always a good thing. You can also check in with your building technology coach. And once you've done that, if there's still not a solution in sight, please submit a help desk ticket with as many details as possible. The more we know, the easier it is to send the appropriate person out to help with the appropriate tools and information to solve your problem. You can also contact the help desk at extension 5589. If your building has another way of contacting the help desk, like through the building secretaries, please abide by those guidelines. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial. Good luck in getting your interactive projector set up, and happy interacting.